Anita Lewis,
Ayush Nakpal,
Cathal Conroy,
Selabo Kutsi,
Deepthi Jindal,
Ian Rafferty,
Peter McMahon,
Rory Martin,
Bhavya Verma,
Bob Brennan,
Owen Carroll,
Ina Hearn,
Laura Cunningham,
Maria Barry,
Elaine Broderick,
Seamus Harrington,
Alan Sharp,
Ruth Lawler,
Brendan Stone,
Jeff Walsh, John Keegan,
Gerard O'Brien,
Zarina Concashua,
Carol McIntyre,
Niall Gallagher,
Just Lou,
Roisin O'Loughlin.
Professor Patrick Williams.
My name is Brendan Staunton and we are in the Raffles Hotel having lunch first day. Massive buffet, amazing cuisine. This morning went to the Kaplan Institute and we met with some representatives from the Irish Chamber of Commerce. We heard from people in different sectors, from residential sector, property, from the pharmaceutical sector and then also from the energy sector. So really interesting perspective on Singapore and how they've developed over the last 50 years.
My name is Elaine Broderick and we're here in Citibank and we're about to listen to one of 3 presentations on Citibank. Went on this trip to see Singapore and Vietnam, but it's actually really educational. I wasn't going for educational benefits, but it's been a really good fun, really good networking as well. Tomorrow we're going to see Amazon and then we're going to fly to Hanoi.
For me it was an opportunity to visit Asia, see something different. I haven't spent an awful lot of time in Asia, so it's just that cultural differences, business. I mean, Singapore is a real hub as we're learning, and there's so many businesses that are based here. I suppose as a cohort to get to travel, it's really good, get to know the exec MBAs, and I think that's been one thing that people have said, that real mixture across the class, because we as a full-time MBA get to spend an awful lot of time together, but a real kind of cross, and we get to learn. And again, it's developing those relationships, which we're hearing so much about in Singapore as well.
Our integration into WeChat and
You're going to be talking to your customers, you're going to see growth, you're going to see customers.
My name is John Keegan. I'm part of the full-time MBA class in Michael Smurfit Graduate Business School, currently playing with the Longford Senior Football team. What I've established or identified, I suppose, on this programme is that once I got into the programme, a lot of the skills that we develop when playing in team sports, a lot of them are transferable to the world of business, and I've used that to my advantage on the programme. Before the MBA I was a teacher, so I was teaching for 3 years, and for me the days became, although it was very rewarding, the days became very regimental, very structured and almost predictable, and I wanted to move to a fast-paced environment. The MBA absolutely was the facilitator to make that transition from the world of teaching to the world of business.
Hi, I'm Deepthi Jindal. I'm doing full-time MBA from Ireland, UCD Smurfit. I'm from India and it's been a tremendous journey so far. I choose Dublin to do my MBA because Dublin is actually becoming the digital capital of Europe. There are so many organizations that I want to be part of are opening or have already opened their headquarters. So I really wanted to take that opportunity to be part of those organizations, and UCD Smurfit, it has a great reputation and it's very well known among all the organizations, so that was one of the reasons that I chose UCD Smurfit. Whatever you're learning in your business program, you can actually see the practical implications, which has been a great learning experience and definitely an add-on to whatever we are doing in the program.
Before the MBA, I worked as an aerospace design engineer, and then I studied a master's in business analytics. So the MBA was a great way to combine all this learning and jump forward in my career. The international trip has been a really great experience. I've been able to contrast Singapore and Vietnam. Both cities have shown us different learnings based on their kind of strengths and why each city has developed different industries.
I'm Zarina Kankasheva, I'm from Kazakhstan. We are in Hanoi, in Vietnam. We've been given an opportunity to see a number of businesses, for instance Vietin Bank, Coca-Cola, but also we've been taking to these places by bus. So when you go there by bus, you just look outside the window and you see a lot of motorbikes, for instance, or how people make trades. And this side is not something that you can easily do. I chose to study in Ireland for a number of reasons, but most important was that, and a very simple one, it was still accepting the applications. I have a long story actually. In March, to cut the long story short, in March and April I went to the US. I wanted to see what business school is like, what MBA is like, so I did this, and I learned that MBA is what you make of it. So I looked at that time, it was 2017, what schools still accept applications. And unfortunately, Ireland was there, but was closed. So I decided to apply instead to a school at least, because the schools really had a good reputation. So I applied for Master in Finance, and then 2 weeks before I was scheduled to board the plane, I received a call from the school saying, would you like to study an MBA instead? And I said, yes, please, because that was my dream since 2013. Ireland exceeded my expectations in many ways. For instance, the people. Previously, before I came to the country, I studied a little bit about Ireland, what Irish people are like, but then when I actually saw them and get to sit in the same class with them and get to do group projects and have after-class drinks, then I realized that people are so open, and I didn't expect this level of openness and always desire to help.
I'm Patrick Gibbons, I'm the Professor of Strategic Management at UCD, and I'm the academic lead on this tour. The trip has been really excellent. We've had some very interesting companies to visit, among them Caterpillar, Citibank, and we just came from a very interesting visit to a Coca-Cola bottling plant. I think we tried to provide a variety of experiences to the student. So, for instance, we try to visit manufacturing plants so that we actually see things being made and we see the process layout and so on. In addition to that, we're interested in digitisation, so we visited Citibank with that perspective. And we're also interested in the broader service sector, so we try to get a blend of industries, a blend of companies, as different facets of business enterprise to expose to students, particularly in the international context and in the Asian context.
I would describe the experience as amazing, and I don't say that lightly. I thought it was unbelievable. If I use the example of Citibank, my expectations of going to Citibank were pretty low because generally I tend to limit my exposure to financial services. I wouldn't say I'm allergic to it, but it's something I wouldn't be as strong in or as strong with. But everything that we learned from Citibank was like tapping into a lot of the modules across the 2 years. So each of the 5 people that spoke with us, I learned an awful lot from it, and it got me thinking afterwards as to maybe I would like to work in the financial services sector. So that's just a microcosm of what I thought about the whole trip. But from start to finish, from forging the relationships with classmates we may not have known so well beforehand, from the experience of going into these companies and effectively the red carpet being rolled out, which otherwise wouldn't have happened if, obviously if you're to do it by yourself. I would go further than recommending this trip. I would say that anyone who has the opportunity to go on this trip and doesn't is selling themselves short.
If you want to do an MBA in Ireland, Michael Smurfit Graduate Business School, no doubt. You open the Financial Times ranking, it's there. It's the only school in Ireland and it is the best. Take my word for it. I've studied there for more than 6 months. I know what I'm talking about.